Hi everybody, and welcome to a new video. My name is Tika, and I just finished my freshman year at Carnegie Mellon University. Because of the pandemic, I was only on campus for the spring semester, and we weren't allowed to visit other people's dorms, but I've gathered information from my friends in those dorms to kind of get an overall holistic view of what the freshman campus life is like. Alright, so in today's video, I'm going to be rating and kind of doing a tier list of all the campus dorms for freshmen. Alright, let's get into the video. So, up first is Boss. I'm doing this alphabetically, by the way. So, Boss is on the hill, which is kind of where a lot of the dorms are. It's also more of a global living community. I don't really know what that means in terms of like the people or anything. I don't think it has too much of an impact. But it seems like a pretty nice place. It's not terrible. I think it's going to go in B. Oh yes, real quick. So the categories go in color in rainbow order from best to worst. Passing all the test cases first try is like the typical S tier. It is the best feeling ever. A star stands for A. It's also an algorithm in computer science. That's a really nice algorithm, and it starts with an A as well. So for B tier, I said binary because it's the only B word that I could think of that made any sense vaguely, but I don't remember what my rationale was, so yeah. For C tier, I said C's get degrees because, you know, C's get degrees, that's how it is sometimes, and it's not terrible. Then after that, we have trash tier, which is like just absolute trash, and then at the very bottom we have who, which is because I am not very well acquainted. Yeah. I'm not very well acquainted with all the dorms on campus, so if I don't have enough information on it, then I'm just putting it in the who category. So yeah, up next is Clyde House. I'm going to put that in C's get degrees. So it's an apartment house style. I'm not sure, first of all, how many... first of all, it's in Oakland, which is kind of far. I think as a freshman, you really want to be on campus, just have more access to everything. You want to be living closer to like the center of things. And even though it's an apartment, you do have to be on the meal plan, I'm pretty sure, which isn't the best option. And I'm not really sure otherwise. I don't think I know anyone who lived there. So yeah. Alphabetically next is Donner. Donner belongs in trash tier. Donner, I have a thing against Donner. First of all, it's ugly. It's this big blue building. It's right in the middle of like, kind of right in front of the hill. It looks like a dirty swimming pool, and their windows are tinted blue. I don't know why. I don't know how. It's just so ugly. Then there's also like a cockroach problem there, from what my friends tell me. And there's like no elevators, so you have to take the stairs everywhere, which is terrible for moving in and out. And the laundry machines are at the very bottom in the basement level, so if you're on the 4th floor, you have to go all the way down. And then finally, the community doesn't seem to be the most inviting. One of my friends told me that like she left her laundry detergent out and it was stolen. She left it out for 5 minutes as she went to the bathroom and it was stolen. So it seems like, I don't know, not the best place to live, but that's just my opinion. Alright, up next is E-Tower. So I actually lived on E-Tower this semester. I am putting it in peak in passing all test cases because I do think it is probably the best freshman dorm. So first of all, it's all freshmen, so you get to meet a lot of freshmen who are in your classes. So personally, it's really near to Gates, which is the CS building, because I'm a CS major. And so it's so convenient. I can get to class in 2 minutes. I can study really, really late in Gates. It'll be like midnight or something, and I can come home with a friend, and I can get back safely. And then also, it's very close to the food. So Tepper, which has sushi, I love Tepper sushi. E-Tower is probably the closest building to Tepper sushi. And then the underground is literally right at the bottom, like at the doorstep of E-Tower. And so on the weekends when you have a whole lot of homework to cram and stuff, it's very convenient to go. You don't have to wear a jacket or anything. Like when it's raining, I don't need to get an umbrella. I just go like 2 minutes, I'm back in my room. And then also I think the community and the RAs are like very welcoming and inviting. The breezeway makes it really nice. It's a good place to hang out and chill. There's vending machines. There's a ping pong table now. And it's just an overall pretty inviting place, I'd say. You can tell that I'm clearly E-Tower biased. Up next is 5th Neville Apartments. I would put this in B tier. I think so. It's an apartment style. It's also in Oakland, which is once again a little bit far for me, I'd say. Don't know too much about it, but I think it's just a solid. I think apartment styles are typically a little bit nicer than normal traditional styles, so that's why it's in B tier. Okay, up next is Morwood Gardens. I would put Gardens in A tier. So the thing is, I think as a freshman it's hard to get in there because a lot of upperclassmen like to be in Gardens. That's where I'm going to be next semester. But I think it's better to be in E-Tower than Gardens because you get the whole freshman-only experience, which I think is really nice. But it's basically, like, location-wise, it's practically the same as E-Tower. There are a few more amenities in Gardens, but I don't think it's that big of a difference. And also, Gardens was used as quarantine housing this semester, and I think last semester, so take that as you will. Up next is Hammerschlag. I'm going to put Hammerschlag in A star. So I have a good friend who lives in Hammerschlag, and she loved it. It's a little bit far. Like, it takes her 7 minutes speed walking to get to Rashid Auditorium in Gates from Hammerschlag, but it's freshman only, which is nice, and they have the whole, like, schlounge culture with putting schla in front of everything, and I think it's really funny, but it also has, like, a really good sense of community that builds from there. So yeah, the only thing that detracts it from being in the peak tier would be the fact that it's a little bit far. Up next is Henderson. I think it's similar to Schlag, but the dorms are a little bit smaller from what I could tell. Like, I saw in one of the Zoom, like over Zoom, like I was looking to one of my friend's rooms who lived in Henderson, and it seemed a little bit tiny. For a single room at least, and once again it suffers from being far again because it's on the hill, but I like the fact that it's like a clean living environment, and actually I think I had Henderson on my list when I was doing freshman housing applications. Up next is Margaret Morrison Apartments, Maggie Mo. I'd say it's C tier. It's kind of like apartment style, but you have to get your meal plan again. It's on the hill, far, it's mixed grade. I don't know too much about it. I just personally would not want to live there. It's also near the frat houses, so I feel like it would be a little bit loud, but first of all, I wouldn't really know. Yeah. And up next is Mcgill House. I don't know too much about Mcgill. It's a women's only dorm, I'm pretty sure, for first years, I think, but actually, I don't think it's for first years, just kidding. Yeah, but it's women's only, but I don't know too much about the actual living space. I think it's one of the specialty dorms because it is split by gender. Up next is Mudge. I think Mudge, okay, it is the mansion one. It's also on Morwood, but it's one of it's like the farthest one on Morwood Ave, so it doesn't really get all the points for location. And I heard that it has a cockroach problem, and it was also being used as quarantine housing, so I don't know too much about it from that perspective. But yeah, I'd say because of the cockroaches and the distance and the fact that, like, it's a little bit musty, I think, and quarantine housing-y, I would just put it in C's Get Degrees. Up next is Res on 5th. I'd say Res on 5th goes A in A tier. So Res on 5th is an apartment style, but you get your own specialized meal plan, which is good because that way you don't need to pay them so much money and you don't need to be forced to be on a meal plan that you won't be able to finish. I heard it's also really nice in there, and it's first years only. Only thing that puts it not in the top tier is the fact that it is not, like, directly on campus. It's a little bit far, and so if you're planning on being out, like, studying late or something, you probably don't want to prioritize Res on 5th, but Res is nice. Scoble, this is the male-only dorm. I think it's on the hill. I don't know too much about it considering it is a male-only dorm, so I'm going to put it in the Who tier. Up next is Stever. I like Stever. I have a friend who's in Stever. She really liked it, so it's just next to Morwood Gardens, so it's still pretty close to the underground and to, like, Gates and stuff. And I do think that Stever has a really nice community. Like, from what my friend was telling me, like, the whole floor gets together, they all know each other, they all seem really close. and so it seems like a good place to meet people and have a lot of fun, and it has the location perks as well. And then next we have Welch. I don't know what that is. I genuinely could not tell you anything about it. I think it's on the hill, but that's about it. It seems very standard and straightforward and average. So if you want something like that, then maybe go for it, question mark. Yeah. And then finally is West Wing. So I don't really know what to do with West Wing because I don't know anyone from there and I don't know too much about it, so I'm inclined to put it into Who tier. But also it doesn't seem too bad. So if everything that I heard from it was good, if I had friends who lived in West Wing and they liked it, then I would be in probably B or A tier. But because I don't know anyone, I think it's gonna go in binary, or it's gonna go in Who tier. And so West Wing is kind of near the whole Resnick area. Its location is pretty nice. It's right in the middle of campus. The only thing is you have to look at Donner if your window faces that direction, which is Donner's ugly. You don't want to look at Donner. But yeah, it seems like a pretty nice like first year and mixed upper class, but it seems like in a nice location wise you get to see a lot of cool stuff. You're kind of right in the middle of campus too, which is nice. So yeah, this is kind of my opinion based off of my limited quarantine / COVID pandemic experience. I am a little bit biased towards eTower, but I chose eTower because I liked it for the benefits, and it turns out that the benefits are worth even more. So yeah, I wish you guys all the best of luck with your own housing choices, and please, if anything I said was like incorrect, don't shoot the messenger. Just, I don't know, take this all with a grain of salt, I guess. And so yeah, thank you for watching. Like if you liked, and subscribe if you want more CMU related content or just general CS content in general. I just said in general twice. Yep. Alright, thanks, bye.